My name is Steve Zeltzer. I'm with HEAT, Higher Education Action Team, and also I'm a journalist and Workweek Radio on KPFA. And for many years, I've been covering privatization of public education and the fight for free public education from K through 12 to the university. And we have been fighting, many people have been fighting, many people, maybe faculty, staff, community people, have been fighting to protect community college, our community college. It's a great community college, San Francisco City College, and we need to defend it. We need to make it a city college for all the people of San Francisco, especially the poor people, working class people, minorities, and Latinos, and immigrants who need city college to get ESL, to get other education. So this is really a life and death issue for the people of San Francisco, not just for people who use city college. And so we're having this, we've learned that, and other people will talk about it, that there's a budget deficit of $2.7 million, which is going to lead to the layoff or shutdown of 280 classes all throughout the university college, including senior classes for health and other issues. And we're saying in this city of so many billionaires, San Francisco has so many billionaires, why isn't there enough money for fully funding community college? Why do we have to have a rally today to fund city college? That's really a serious question. So we've made an effort along with AFD 2121 to lobby the Board of Supervisors to pass an emergency appropriation and ordinance for $2.7 million. That's why we're here today. And at 2 o'clock there will be a hearing in the Board of Supervisors. We're going to go to the hearing and speak out about why we need this funding. So we also are encouraging people to go to the Board of Trustees meeting this coming Thursday at 4 o'clock at the Ocean campus, and let the board know that they need to demand that the Chancellor accept the $2.7 million and use it for the classes, to reinstate the classes, and not for more executives, not for more consultants, but for actually the classes, the students, and the faculty. So thanks for joining us today. So our first speaker is going to be Kate, and she's a faculty member from Chinatown Community College campus. Welcome, Kate.
We are City College of San Francisco. We are of the city, by the city, for the city. About 25% of San Franciscans have taken a class at City College at some time or another. We have just about every class you could possibly imagine. We put firefighters on the street.
Rick Baum, and I teach poli-sci part-time at City College. And I like to address the issues of the class cuts because what they result in is the deprivation of opportunities for our students. Most of our students are students of color. So what is happening with these class cuts is that they're depriving them of opportunities that they should be receiving in our society and basically reinforcing the discrimination that people of color have faced throughout this country's history. They're reproducing this form of structural racism. At the same time, over half the students are women. By cutting their educational opportunities, they're reinforcing sexist policies or sexism within our society. But perhaps most importantly, in terms of the class cuts that was mentioned by Steve, is that at Kate, that 90% of the cuts are for classes of older adults. The classes that they are taking include classes like balancing. What does that class teach them? It teaches them how to prevent from falling. When older people fall, they usually bruise themselves badly or break bones. So in other words, cutting these classes is going to end up shortening their lives. And so we should not just see this as a matter of opportunities, but almost, as Steve put it, a life and death matter. So we need to tell the Board of Supervisors, the trustees at our college, that by allowing these policies to happen, to be discouraging the city from giving us money for this emergency funding, they are reinforcing racism, sexism, and ageism that we've had enough of in our society. So thank you.
So, they're not only cutting adult education, they're also cutting the kind of jobs that we really need, like construction and automotive. We have a housing crisis, and we also have a transportation crisis here in San Francisco. And many of the people here have been writing to the Mayor and Board of Supervisors to get them to fund our college and have it fully funded so it can be the kind of college it always has been. Not some idea that our Chancellor Rocha has about what his vision of what City College San Francisco should be. Here's the letter that I wrote to the Mayor and a couple of the supervisors, one in my district and then one in the district of the Evans campus where I work. Dear Mayor Breed and Supervisors Brown and Walton, there is an important matter that needs your immediate attention. City College San Francisco is about to make drastic cuts to classes as the administration and board feels cuts are the only way to prevent the state from coming in to take over the management of the college. At the City College Board meeting on Thursday last, it seemed certain that the administration would start cutting additional classes this week from the already reduced 2020 spring schedule because of a projected 13 million shortfall this year. Any class that does not have as many as 28 students may be cut. I am an automotive instructor at the Evans campus. For safety reasons, all my classes are capped at 25, as are many of our construction programs. The recent cuts have seen our class offerings in both auto and construction cut drastically. The Evans campus is a rapidly gentrifying industrial and residential neighborhood in District 10, has been an ideal campus, quietly providing an educated, shovel-ready and safety-conscious tradespeople for the city of San Francisco and the Bay Area for nearly 3 decades. The small class sizes, lecture lab formula, and large space has been a great learning environment for the college to host nearly all of its trades classes, such as carpentry, plumbing, electric, and automotive technologies. It also provides very popular non-credit custodial and ESL classes and provides space for many educational partnerships. The campus has just been approved for a multi-million-dollar improvement, and the state has provided hundreds of thousands of dollars of new tools and equipment through Perkins and strong workforce monies. All sounds great, a formula for success, but these cancellations and cuts are killing us. Since 2016, the number of classes at Evans have been halved, and I sent them an attached cutout which I've given to the press of all of the classes that we've had cut in the last 3 years since Rocha took over. Nearly all of the part-time instructors have been laid off or lost their health care. Many night and weekend classes have been cancelled or cut. We feel forgotten. Unfortunately, because of the necessary small class size, some specialised classes that students need to complete their certificates or degrees find it very hard to make the minimum 20 to 28 that the administration now demands of all classes, regardless of type. Even if classes make it to the initial schedule, they get cut later, sometimes weeks before the first class of a semester. I had one of my auto welding classes that had 15 already enrolled, cut 2 weeks before the start of classes, not even giving a fighting chance to make the 20 minimum. Many of our students work part-time and don't know their work schedule until the beginning of the semester and wait to see what classes will be a fit. So many classes that might have been filled have been cut. The city and state are crying out for tradespeople to address the chronic transportation and housing crisis. City College Evans Centre can provide them, if given a chance, by ending cuts and growing, not cutting classes. We need to start putting students' dreams and needs first, again. And the way classes are now being funded by the state means our college, which is one of the best institutions for bringing our communities and people together, is being slowly destroyed. The city needs to help our college now, or we will lose one of the brightest lights in the city. I am a District 5 Brown voter and homeowner and father of 4 San Francisco Unified children. My 18-year-old son Liam worked on Breed's campaign last year, and the whole family are big London Breed fans, especially my two teen daughters. Please help, Stephen Brady.
My name is Wynne Kaufman. I've been teaching engineering at City College for 37 years. I love City College. I'm also currently Vice President of the Faculty Union. I think that we're all here today because we know the jewel that City College is in our city of San Francisco. And we know that City College is not a taker, it's a giver. We give so much to the community in terms of lifelong learning, educational opportunities, ESL, help for immigrants, second chancers. It's amazing, but it's not just that kind of help and what we give to the community. We give value in terms of dollars. During the so-called accreditation crisis, Eric Marr, who was then supervisor, commissioned a report from the legislative analyst and budget team from the city council here. And they concluded that City College gives a net benefit to the city of to the tune of $300 million a year. We've been under attack, under political attack that started under the guise of accreditation since 2012. The objective is to downsize us, and they're winning. We need to fight this battle to the end. And we need to stop this current cutting of the classes of the spring 2020 semester. All we're asking for is $2.7 million from our city to staunch the bleeding and help us get back on track to grow to be the college and the institution that San Francisco loves and needs. I want to read a letter from one of the teachers in the Administration of Justice Department. Administrative Justice Class 63, Fingerprints, is a required course in the CSI certificate program. I think that's criminal scene investigation. It was cut last week along with dozens of others. Since then, I have had several upset students tell me that this is the last class they need to complete their certificates. The class is usually offered in the fall, but was not offered in fall 2019. So students have been waiting to take it since fall 2018. And because of this recent cancellation, they will now be waiting until fall 2020. This is not fair to them. It slows their progress towards completion and may, in some cases, discourage them to the point where they'll drop altogether. promised that there would be no classes that would be cut that would delay or prevent graduation or degree or certificate completion. This shows that he was not telling the truth. Please, San Francisco supervisors must support this ordinance to bridge $2.7 million of funding to City College to save those classes now and to save those students' futures. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Marcos Cruz. I'm a student at City College, and I'll talk a little bit about what City College has done for me, because we've heard a lot already about the cuts, but I want to talk about the actual value that City College brings to our lives. My whole family is a family of immigrants. My dad moved here when I was 11. I was still living in Guatemala. My dad took English classes at the Mission campus. He was training his citizenship, applications at the Mission campus. And, my dad might have not become a citizen of the United States if it wasn't for City College. And he might have not been able to bring me and my sister to the United States if it wasn't for City College. When I came to this country, my dad had a community and he had friends. And a lot of them I didn't know until later on. Where? Because, he got involved at City College in some of the student activities. And he found people. My dad was 40 years old. It's not easy to move to a different country and not speak the language. It's not easy. But City College makes it easier. City College makes it bearable and doable, and you can find community and feel yourself at home in the city. When I graduated high school, I still didn't have a working permit. I couldn't work yet. I wanted to start doing that, but I had to wait, and I found a place to wait at City College where I could study for cheap. I could study things that I wanted to study. I could build community, and it really helped me. And now I can work. Now I'm having my green card interview in 2 days, and thank you. But my story is not the only one like this. There's hundreds of thousands of people that go through City College that have the same story. They come from harsher backgrounds, they come from more difficult situations than I have, and they get out of those situations because of City College. And I think it's really time that we acknowledge that this is not just a school, this is not a junior college, no matter how much the Chancellor tries to make it sound like that. We're a community college, we're a community institution. Beyond just classes, it's about community. It's about LGBT students finding the first person that's trans and older 40 in their lives. It's about immigrants finding people that they can speak in their native languages while they're learning English. It's about getting a career started from the ground up when you don't have a degree. It's really about improving the lives of working class people, of poor people, and people of color in the city. So when Chancellor Rocha says that that's the people he's trying to help, he's lying. He's not telling the truth, because his actions make life harder for these populations in our city. They would have made my dad's life harder. They would have, because there's no ESL classes that focus on citizenship in the Mission anymore. In our Mission campus, in the Mission neighborhood, there's no ESL citizenship classes anymore. That's ridiculous. It's not the way San Francisco should, treat its community. And we know that the supervisors can help us, and we know that some of them have already said that they will. We're asking all the supervisors to sign on, because all the supervisors districts benefit from City College one way or another. So we really hope that they come out and support this ordinance, because we need this funding to save the soul of City College and not let it become a junior college, which it has never been, and it will never be as long as we can fight it.
I'm Dr. Wood Massey. I was the chairperson of the Older Adults Department at City College from 1996 to 2010. And this program was started half a century ago. It's a stellar program that serves 2,000 older adults. It employs 25 part-time faculty teaching classes at about 50 sites around San Francisco. They partner with nonprofit organizations to provide spaces that are rent-free and heating and cleaning-free to City College, so it's very economic. These cuts have the largest departmental cuts that are part of the spring cuts are 90% or 95% of the older adults department. All of these 2,000 students who rely on the classes to learn physical exercise, to learn health habits, to learn how to use computers, to practice their cognitive abilities, to get out of the house and socialize. And that last one is real important. For older adults, isolation is a killer. So these class cuts will kill many older adults in San Francisco who have been going for many years to meet their friends and to practice their cognition or their physical exercise. So the other thing I want to say is that in a few years, 1 out of 3 San Franciscans will be over 55. What are we doing for those people? Every other major city in the world has a program of lifelong learning that is supported by the government. Is San Francisco going to just throw our senior citizens under the bus and ignore us and let us sit in our homes and die from isolation? It's unconscionable. It's imperative that this Board of Supervisors step in to try to save this program. Something has to be done. It's shameful. San Francisco is a better city than this. I know we're changing. I know it's becoming more and more about billionaires like Betsy Ross, the Secretary of Education, who's trying to privatize education in every way to shut down community colleges so they can force people to take student loans at for-profit colleges. It's wrong, it's immoral, it must be addressed. So I urge you to contact all of your friends, to have them and yourself contact the Board of Supervisors and say these funds must be released to maintain these classes. We have an infrastructure that has been built up over half a century. If we lose all these teachers, if all these 2,000 adults do not, if they disperse, how the hell are we going to build this program up again? How long will it take? How many people will we lose in the meantime? And this is not even, I'm sure other people are here are addressing other issues like the previous speaker. Anyway, it's time for action. We have to do something. Thank you very much.
And the other issue is the Board of Trustees, because the Board of Trustees have unfortunately gone along with the cutbacks. And now I understand in the Examiner they say that they're against this further cut, but we have to put the heat on them and let them know San Francisco wants to defend City College. Save the classes now. 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 Now the other issue is we want that $2.7 million, but we're also calling for an independent audit. Because frankly, San Francisco has passed many ballot measures to give millions and millions of dollars to City College to provide for the community, to provide for the seniors, to provide for the immigrants. And where is this money gone? Where is this money gone? Because the budget changes from week to week, month to month. There are millions of dollars of changes in the budget by the administration. So we don't want just more money without a real financial audit to where the money is and where it's going. Because we believe it's number one, it's gone to more executive salaries. It's gone to consultants. The city of San Francisco has spent millions of dollars for developers, Avalon, for the reservoir, for condos, $1 million condos. Is that where the money should be going? No! I think that money should be going to the students, the classes, and the professors. That's where that money should be going. And that's where it should be going, because that is what we are here to defend today. The community, the working class, immigrants, seniors, and vocational students. And one of them is a member of HEAT. Brenna is here, and she's been helping to organize the campaign. Welcome, Brenna.
Hi, my name is Brenna, and I am a student at City College, and I'm in the automotive trades program. In a time where the country is saying that they are pushing to support women in the trades, Chancellor Rocha has been decimating the trades programs at City College. And many people have had to drop out because they cannot finish their programs to get better jobs or even a beginning job in the trades, including women and single working mothers. Many of the classes, the nighttime classes, the weekend classes are all but gone. And these working mothers, working fathers, working students cannot just change and go to a daytime class. You know, I want to bring the truth that initially what you guys might be hearing through the press, Rocha has been putting out with his office saying that these classes need to be cut so that the college could be financially solvent, and they're just being responsible. That's not true. Many of these classes across the board, the older adults, the trades, many of them are actually overruled. They have long wait lists. The upholstery class, which has been decimated, which has given, you know, single mothers a chance to work out of their homes to make extra money so they can live in the city or to start their own business, you know, has been cut. They had a wait list of almost 100 students, and yet they refused to just make more sections of these classes. These classes bring in money, they bring in people, they are needed. And now that we're starting to point that out, Rocha changed his story and said no. He's telling the supervisors, do not approve this $2.7 million. We're not in a budgetary crisis. What's the deal? You know, now he's saying, well, it's just part of a larger restructuring plan to shrink the college, make it into a junior college model where people will either get an associate's degree in 2 years or transfer to a 4-year university. City College and the people of San Francisco, life is hectic nowadays. People don't necessarily have the time to get a full degree. They need the skills and get out and get a job, and that's what City College provides.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, to take away these classes is ridiculous. You know, what is he doing? You know, who is he serving when he's taking away these things that are important to the community?
So, as speakers have said, programs that have been developed over decades to train young people, to train people who want jobs and career development in San Francisco are now threatened with destruction. And Jason is going to be talking about his program and the need to defend that. Welcome, Jason.
Hi everybody, my name is Jason, and I'm actually going to speak on behalf of some of my fellow construction students who went through, you know, the various construction programs through the Evans campus, and I'll speak on myself too. I attended the construction program through the Evans campus back in 2011. I'm a proud graduate of the construction management program in 2015, and you know, through the Evans campus back then, I was able to acquire my own contractor license through a contracting prep class back in 2012. And you know, like these are some of the classes that are being cut. By the way, I'll speak in terms of like you know, for construction, how we can further ourselves, you know, through getting these licenses and certificates. Right now, you know, like we just kind of like try to get the contracting prep class back, and right now they're saying that okay, well we're going to offer this class every other semester, and you know, like that's not how it goes, okay? And 8 out of 10 general contractor fail because that they don't understand how to do project estimating and you know project scheduling and so forth. Right now, these classes are being offered once every semester. That's not how you're going to get success in the construction trade, you know, through the private sector. You know, like if you want folks to develop folks who, you know, actually bid for some of these projects in the city and actually do some of these work, you know, you need to be able to have these courses to help the, you know, everyday blue collar, you know, like to actually go take these classes, have these classes regularly available, and you know, do well. Okay, I'll speak on the trade end. Okay, back in 2011, I was very proud to get some of the welding certificates that was offered here in the Evans campus. You want to know what our welding program right now looks like? It is zilch, zero. And you know, like you want 3G, 4G, 5G, so how to pipe weld, all these things, how to get into the union, how to do all that stuff. Yo, guess what? You don't have it right now. That's not cool. Okay? You know, like you want to know something? Like I mean, I know a lot of folks who work in the like. I want to speak on the pipe fitting, you know, in the plumbers union. There's only a handful of folks really know how to weld pipe fitting, like pipe welding. You know, like these are the things that certificate used to offer. You can get it, you know, like through a semester or two. You can acquire that skill, get that certificate. It is AWS, American Wellness Society certified. These things are good anywhere in the nation. These classes used to offer here, and right now is 0. Okay, that's not cool. Okay. All right, and then and by the way, what dragged me out here to talk about all of this stuff is that right now they're cutting back. It's been cutting back, but it's like now it's just to the point that it's like, oh my God, what's going on? OSHA 10 and OSHA 30 classes. Occupational safety, recently, it's condolences to one of our iron worker brother, who recently fell in that crane, in the news. Again, occupational safety is very important for all of our folks, who work in the trade, blue collar, okay? This is, again, great certificate. It's only 30-hour, 10-hour certificates. If you're cutting these, you're cutting bare bone. What's more important than work safety? I mean, I don't need to say it anymore, right? And enough said. It's like, I have a lot of my friends, from other unions and stuff. They want to come back and get these certificates, improve their career, and able to, jump ahead. But without these classes, it's not going to happen. So that's all. I mean, again, I'm only speaking in the what we need as the fellow students, fellow alumni coming back to talk to. We really need to protect the blue collar. And with that said, man, Bill Shields.
So Jason is one of our success stories. He was a student who's gone on through the training program to become a contractor. Now he's back helping our program. I'm Bill Shields. I work with the Labor and Community Studies program. We're the Labor Council's arm for workers' justice education at the college. And we see Olga Miranda. Olga is the president of the Janitors Union. Olga has worked for years to get custodial training classes into her union hall. Now these cuts are threatening those classes. We have job training at the college. We have senior citizen classes. We have adult basic education. We have English as a second language. All of this comes under the heading of what we call adult education. When we say we support community over junior college models, that's what we're talking about. In the early 1970s, the City College District took adult education from the San Francisco Unified School District. We have a fire science program, do we? So why does that matter? Because the working people of San Francisco have been paying taxes all their lives. They have a right to these classes. And we promised the city that we would offer those classes, and those are the classes that are particularly targeted and are being cut most viciously. So we ask you to pressure the mayor, pressure the Board of Supervisors, pressure our paralyzed Board of Trustees, and get them to do the right thing. I assure you that organized labor will be backing this fight every step of the way. Thank you.
San Francisco is known as a music center of musicians. It's a tremendous music center. And you would think that with San Francisco Community College would have a world-class theater. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You would think San Francisco would have a world-class center here for music and arts at Community College. What in the hell has happened? Because now we don't even have a theater, which we, the taxpayers, have passed two initiatives to tax ourselves for a theater, and yet it's still not built while they're talking about building developments, condos. Madeline Mueller is a long-time fighter for arts program, for the music program, and to build a theater and training center, education center for musicians, for artists, which is what we really need. This is what students need. This is what young people need. So welcome Madeline Mueller.
Well, I'm going to segue on some of the previous speakers. Bill Shields didn't say also that we have a labor choir that has been awarded 2 years ago, I guess, the top labor choir in the nation. That's been canceled. We had many performances leading up to students going into performance jobs of the musical. That's been canceled. Lots of the arts programs, but also I'm aware that the courses in engineering have had 40% of their programs canceled this semester suddenly, and those are what presumably this chancellor is promoting, the STEAM, STEM and STEAM. Presumably, I say, because somebody also this chancellor's vision, or this chancellor's vision. It comes right out of Sacramento, and out of Sacramento, the state chancellor's office, it comes right out of two groups that you must be aware of that are pushing all of our buttons and actually want to destroy San Francisco by taking down the community college here. The two groups, one is ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council, funded by now Charles Koch, not the Koch brothers. They put in form of the funding formula that this current chancellor uses to justify all the cuts. Well, the funding formula is right out of right-wing Koch brother oil interests. Do we trust that? Shouldn't we be fighting that? We definitely should. And the other really bad actor, I hate that term, is the group called Lumina, which is a presumed foundation of billions of dollars of student loan Sallie Mae money. And they are putting out this agenda for the junior college to really entrap, and I use that word absolutely, to entrap young students into full-time careers of 4, they call it finish in 4. You come in, you are on a pathway, you take prescribed courses. The Lumina document says that schools should not even offer arts, humanities, or social sciences because it will distract the students from this corporate pathway. And then, of course, if they're full-time, they can't really work their way through school, so they're into student loans that can't be paid back. We have $1.7 trillion, I think, in student loans. You know the issue. So this attack, I watched it come from the East Coast. It's arrived in San Francisco. We should all be aware that City College is in the crosshairs, but San Francisco is in the crosshairs. It's the values of San Francisco that are under attack. And one last thing, Marcos isn't here long enough. I was once picked out from HR as the faculty member who's been here the longest. I was very young. Started in 1965, and we were a junior college, and we learned that that was not the way to go. So this whole idea of going backwards is so stupid when it's presented as somehow the new regime, and it's not. It's very retro, and we went through this 50 years ago when I was here and said this is not the way to go. It's a community college, community values. We belong to San Francisco. The supervisors should support us.
Mission campus, and you know what? 2 years ago it carried 400 class, and fall semester it carried 20% more than that class. It's effective for the people coming from another countries too, because ACL class almost is free, and now in the future you want to charge for that. The most the people need communication in this country. When I come in this country, I know how to say hello, and now I understand because I'm still working on my skill, and that's why I need to support for everybody. Only the ESL classes carry in this semester. And the session class you have the same problem too. That's right. It's better the community college still continue working together and doing something, because it's not fair, because I know the government having money for this class, and that's the meaning the people are still in the room and waiting for one class. It's not fair to say, you know what, I don't have the money for your take that class. When the people have that money, that's why they need to work more and check what happened. What can I do? What can I support all the people doing? Because they can't just stop this situation. 2 years ago, she lost 400 class. And the fall semester is 20% more. It's now only 20% more. I think she's got more class. Somebody mentioned about this one. It's not fair, not only for the people coming for ESL class, or the people who want to get a high school diploma, she don't have the class for the next semester. It's good for everybody, because everybody should need good skill, she needs a good job for your kids, for your whatever, doesn't matter is working, everybody working hard for doing something. That's why I try to work in this community. I try to do a lot of signing for the people and say, you know what? I don't want to carry more class for everybody because you need art in the class. I need the people to improve more things. You know, the community college you have for improve for regarding for university. She got a lot of campus to work in. That's it, good you're working together and still doing something and you know what, you need to help somebody to move more of the time. That's why everybody's working together in this area. That's why everybody goes to the meeting and do something. Because in the future maybe it's closed. I don't think so she wants somebody close. Or